How do you actually make some decisions? Now you know that everybody is all, this emotional stuff is going on, and you know the challenges of it, but now what? What do we do with that? I am still going to be frustrated. I still am going to be angry. I still feel guilty, whatever it is. But what are we going to do with it, and what do we look at if we're going to try and make decisions? Kind of the idea of what's some guidelines to looking at making decisions. One is the idea of self-determination. The care receiver, unless there is some mental impairment, we get to, and even in that case, if they've got any ability, we get to decide for ourselves. That's just the way things are. God has given us the free will and given us our individual choices, and so we each get to decide our own fate. And that is a really hard one when you're sitting around a table trying to convince somebody of something, not to kind of, well, I'm going to just overrule that. I'm going to decide and overrule it. And so you don't get self-determination. And we can't do it. Another one is to try and keep things as normal as possible. So that if, for instance, you've got your mom lives at home with you, you want her to be able to come out to the dining room table and sit and have dinner with the family. Instead of, well, I don't think you can come out right now, so you just go stay in the room and I'll bring you dinner. If she's able, then we want to have her have just as much of a normal, whatever's normal, as she wants. A lot of people, little things like getting up early and going to bed early and whatever it is, all those kind of little things that you do when you're totally independent in your own apartment. When you're looking at making decisions, you have to look at what's the most normal thing for this person, what will be the least adjusting for this person. Another one is each person's an individual, and I think that it certainly is true for caregivers, but I'm looking at it from the point of a care receiver. A caregiver is going to be looking at, this worked just great for Mary's mom, so I'm going to do this with my mom. And that doesn't work. Or, you know, when Dad had his stroke, we did this. Well, now Mom needs some help, so we're going to do this because it works so well. Everything's got to be looked at as an individual situation, so that when a family is trying to decide things and you're sitting down and working on stuff, you can't use kind of a one-size-fits-all answer. You've got to individualize what's going on. My big thing is communication, and I think it's very obvious you want everybody to sit and talk and hear each other, so there's that kind of communication. But I go back to the talk about it early, to discuss issues ahead of time, so that when the time comes that you have some situation, you've already talked about it a little bit. And your care receiver knows that you're interested in what he or she is thinking, that you're not making the decision without them. So that when the whole family all gets together for that, everybody come into town, everybody has a big old meeting, Mom and Dad are included in the meeting. And as much as possible, the care receiver should be included in things. And so there's got to be a lot of talking back and forth. A lot of people say, well, I don't know what Mom wants to do. Maybe she wants to go to an assisted living place because she can, you know, have other seniors around her, and she likes the music they have on Tuesdays, and, you know, whatever it happens to be. And another person says, well, no, Mom, I'm sure Mom wants to stay in an apartment all by herself. That's the biggest point, is that she's got her fancy furniture around her. She loves her apartment, she likes her view. Well, if you didn't sit down and ask Mom, you're not going to really know. And so it's critical that parents, care receiver, whatever the situation is included in that conversation, so that they're included to the point that they're giving the input, because this is their lives. Another one is support, and support can be from other family members, it can be from the next door neighbor, it could be from one of the ladies at church, whatever support system is around. Don't try and set up plans and everything else all by itself. I mean, realize that there's support around. And the more support you can bring in, then the better to the situation.